Okay, so we've started our thread wrap using the techniques that we showed you in a previous video, and we've run the thread all the way up to the base of that guide foot. Now as we continue wrapping around and packing the thread as we do, the guide foot is going to cause that thread to want to come back over. See, it's starting to get crowded there. So I'm going to literally take my finger and lift up on this thread and put it back down where I want it to go. Continue the wrap around, and once again it's going to want to do the same thing. It's going to kind of crowd there a little bit. I'm going to have to lift up the thread and put it back down on the wrap previous. But it's starting to want to travel up on there. Now, one technique that you might want to do is, don't get a big glob of thread here. Go ahead and pull the thread up manually and get it up on the guide foot. Yes, there is a big gap there, but that's okay. We're going to just coax the thread where we want it to be, and then as we rotate around, the thread should fall into place. If it doesn't, just go ahead, use a thumbnail or a thread burnisher, and get it to just lay down and fill up those gaps, and continue the wrapping process, packing your thread as you go. At some point the thread will naturally lay in place. But again, we're illustrating this because it can be hard to get the thread up on a poorly prepared guide foot. But just get it up there, allow for a few gaps just like that, and then slowly and carefully push the thread into place. Now as I'm doing that, there's some gap in the thread. I'm having to rotate as I do this because it's loosening up some tension. I'm creating some slack. Okay, continuing around, modifying my angle by sliding the blank back and forth, and the thread will lay down on the blank, and just keep on modifying your angle here, and the thread will begin to lay down where you want it to. Again, everything is exaggerated here. Frankly, this is actually a lot easier when you're dealing with real thread on a real rod blank. But we just wanted to blow everything up and show this to you, just to let you know that you can lift up this thread and move it around. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. We've got a nice wrap going here. Now, about 4 or 5 turns from the end of your wrap, and the end of the wrap is, well, you're going to be running this thread pretty much up really close to where the actual ring of that guide is. Before you get there, though, about 4 or 5 turns, you need to insert a tie-off loop. Now, there is a little bit of gap in this junction between the blank and the guide foot. This is really exaggerated here. On an actual fly rod, it'll be very, very minimal. And you'll be able to kind of pull that tie off kind of in there and get it hidden in that junction. But because of what we're doing here, I'm going to basically end this tie off so that I'm right about here somewhere. I've got a good locking of that thread. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my tie-off loop, just like so. And I'm going to continue the wrapping process about 5 more turns. I usually like 5 for a good, sturdy lock of that thread. There's 4. Here's 5. Now I've gotten a little bit loose on this thread, so I'm gonna repack it. Make sure that you're happy with how it's packed. Okay. And at this point, I'm going to apply some pressure with my thumb just to hold this thread down. I'm going to back off to release the tension on this thread and cut it. Now I'm going to drop the end of this through my tie-off loop, just like so, and provide some down tension. Now I can see what's happening. Let me switch hands here. And now I'm just going to pull this thread through to lock it into place. Okay, so I'm going to leave this long. I'm not going to cut it just yet. I'm going to go through, make sure this is all packed well, and I'm happy with that. All right, now I do not cut these. In a lot of other videos you'll see people cut them right away. But I like to leave these long until just before I epoxy these, because if something does loosen up on me here, I want to be able to tug on this and tighten it back up. So don't cut it just yet. That having been said, there's a couple different ways for you to do that. You can just cut it off flush. That may leave a little bit of thread exposed. Another thing you can do is take yourself an easy knife and literally pull this back, lay the thread down, and cut, rocking back and forth using the rod blank as your cutting board essentially, but trying not to score the rod blank with the razor blade, and then just pack them back into place. Now if this were actual thread, you'd probably be using a thread burnisher to smooth out all that thread, to pack it, and then to smooth it out. There you go. That's how you wrap the thread up on a guide and finish off your wrap.